at the debate joins us live from the University of Houston with reaction. Good morning.
Hi, good morning to you both here from Houston. You know, Trump would say that he expected this kind of attack being the front runner. This was certainly, as we saw, a memorable debate, mostly because the exchanges between the top three contenders in this race, Senators Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, you saw taking aim at Donald Trump, with perhaps, as Dan mentioned a moment ago, Rubio taking the lead and keeping Trump up against the ropes perhaps more often than anybody else did.
I said, well,
let's talk about your plan.
I see him repeat himself every night. It says 5 things. Everyone's dumb. He's going to make America great again. We're going to win, win, win. He's winning in the polls. And the lines around the state. Every night. Same thing.
Senator Rubio there mocking Trump for his lack of specifics in addressing policy questions. Trump last night fired back, brought up Rubio's meltdown in the debate before the New Hampshire primary. That was earlier this month. Trump also fought off Cruz, at one point blurting out that Cruz is a basket case, told him to stop being nervous on the debate stage. With those three contenders dominating the time on stage, you saw Ohio Governor John Kasich, Dr. Ben Carson kind of get left behind here. At one point, Carson spoke up, asked the other candidates to attack him to get a little more Q&A time.
Can somebody attack me, please?
Okay, here, Wolf.
What was going through your mind when you said that?
Well, just the fact that, you know, they were just going back and forth between the same people. And because one would attack one and one would attack the other, there was really no attempt on behalf of the moderators to be equitable with the questioning.
Why'd you call Cruz a basket case?
Well, I've seen him, and he's very shaken up. He's doing very, very poorly in the polls. And, you know, he's done poorly in the last couple of races. As you know, South Carolina, he was supposed to win, and he lost, and lost big.
Another notable moment in last night's debate, Trump, undeterred from his promise to build a wall at the Mexican border, he responded to a question about what former Mexican President Vicente Fox said recently, that Mexico will not pay for the bleeding wall. We won't say what Fox said there, but Trump last night in the debate said the wall just got 10 feet higher, so he's not stepping back from that at all. A lot of bold statements flying last night. The 10th debate, it was the last debate before Super Tuesday, the upcoming primary. All eyes on Texas last night, and we'll see that continue in the coming days as Texas has the biggest number of delegates by far out of all the Super Tuesday primary states, 155 up for grabs for the GOP. Back to you both.
Yeah, you had that interview with Donald Trump right after the debate. I'm sure he was claiming victory the whole time. It seems like that's the way it works, no matter.
Well, that's what they all do.
Right, exactly.
You get your butt kicked around the room, and you say that it was a great performance.
I won.
but the Donald, at one point, there was an interesting picture during the debate, during one of the breaks, Deanna, that Rubio and Cruz walked over to each other and were shaking hands and chatting. Donald Trump, with a white-knuckled grip on the podium, stood there looking away from both of them.
With his head almost in the air, right?
As they were chatting, yeah.
I think we're doing really well in Texas.
Yeah, it almost looks set up, right? Trump right there in the center, Rubio and Cruz on either side, and both of them really going after Trump in the middle. You know, I don't think there was necessarily a gentleman's agreement between the Rubio and Cruz's campaigns to lay off each other a little bit and go after Trump a little bit more, but still we did see that play out, and we thought that would play out with Rubio and Cruz both trying to stand apart here from Trump, dent Trump's appeal, especially here in Texas.
Yeah, you saw that video that we just showed. It had all the media there that were just, you know, pointing. I mean, it's a lot of candidates, a lot of supporters, and then the media itself is like a whole nother story.
Right, and really important in this is that Texas is a huge state, but Texas is also a proportional state. So if you do well enough, you get at least a slice of the pie, Deanna.
Right, it's not a winner-take-all state when it comes to delegate count. So it is worth it for all of these candidates to spend a great deal of time in Texas, knowing that even if they do not necessarily win all of Texas, they could still snag up a significant number of delegates. So this is why you see so much attention being paid to Texas right now, of course being such a big player right now in picking the Republican nominee, which is, you guys know, has not been happening here in Texas for decades. So Texas stepping into this role in a big way. We saw that last night, and we'll see that in the coming days leading up to Tuesday.
Deanna, thank you so much. Appreciate it.